A stillness settles before the sound of these words reaches you, a quiet that does not come from silence but from recognition, as if something ancient inside you has leaned forward to listen. This message moves softly at first, not rushing, not forcing, unfolding like a hidden current beneath ordinary moments, carrying a weight meant only for those who can feel beyond the surface. There is a reason this found you now, a reason your attention did not wander away, a reason your spirit stayed open long enough for these words to arrive. Archangel Michael says this message is not sent into noise but into readiness, and readiness is rare, and that is why the air feels different as you read or hear this. Something unseen has paused around you, holding space, allowing what must be delivered to arrive without distortion or delay. This is not dramatic, not loud, not demanding, but firm and steady like a presence that has always known where you would be at this moment. There has been movement around your life that others cannot see, adjustments made quietly, doors closed without explanation, and paths redirected without warning. None of this was random, none of it wasted, and none of it accidental, even when it felt confusing or heavy. What was removed was not punishment, it was preparation. You have been observed through moments when you kept going without applause, when you stayed steady without reassurance, and when you chose integrity even when no one was watching. These moments formed a signal, not outwardly visible, but unmistakable in the unseen realms. That signal is why this message aligns with you now. Type Amen 333 to receive the blessing carried in this moment. There is a protection around you that has been strengthening quietly, layer by layer, while you focused on surviving, building, enduring, and learning. You were not meant to notice it fully, because awareness would have changed the lesson, and the lesson required authenticity rather than performance. What surrounded you did not interfere, it allowed you to become who you needed to be. What comes next does not arrive suddenly like a storm, but steadily like a rising tide that cannot be denied. Opportunities will align without forcing, resistance will dissolve without confrontation, and clarity will settle without explanation. This is not because circumstances suddenly became kind, but because you became aligned. There is a difference between waiting and being prepared, and you crossed that line without announcing it. Your patience was not passive, it was active endurance, and that endurance reshaped your inner strength. Now the outer world must respond. You may notice subtle shifts first, conversations changing tone, timing improving, delays lifting without reason. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The unseen does not shout, it confirms through alignment. Type Amen 444 to seal this phase of protection. There have been attempts to distract you, drain you, and pull your focus into unnecessary conflict, but none succeeded fully. Even when you felt tired or uncertain, something inside you refused to dim completely. That refusal was not stubbornness, it was purpose. You carry a frequency that does not blend easily with chaos, and chaos recognizes what it cannot control. This is why some situations fell apart when you entered them, and why certain connections could not last. It was not failure, it was incompatibility with your path. You are not meant to chase validation or prove worth, because your role is not dependent on permission. The path ahead responds to who you are, not who you convince others to believe you are. This is why your growth has often been quiet and misunderstood. Type Amen 555 to align with this truth. Archangel Michael says the next phase requires calm confidence rather than urgency, grounded movement rather than reaction. You will feel prompted to act, but not from fear, and you will know the difference because peace will accompany the decision. This peace is the signal you have learned to recognize. What unfolds from here will not demand you abandon who you are, but will invite you to stand fully as yourself without shrinking or overextending. Balance becomes your strength, discernment becomes your guide, and steadiness becomes your advantage. Nothing rushed will last, and nothing aligned will fail. You are not late, you are precisely positioned. The delays refined you, the silence trained you, and the uncertainty sharpened your awareness. Now clarity begins to emerge, not all at once, but exactly as much as you need. Type Amen 777 to receive clarity and strength. What is happening now is quieter than expected but stronger than anticipation, a steady rearranging that does not announce itself yet leaves nothing untouched. You may feel moments where your breath deepens for no clear reason, where your thoughts slow without effort, where certainty replaces noise without explanation. These are signals of alignment, not emotion, not imagination, but response. The unseen does not rush because it does not doubt outcomes. It moves with precision, adjusting timing, placing people, redirecting events so subtly that only reflection reveals the pattern. What once felt delayed now reveals itself as perfectly paced. You are stepping into a season where effort begins to meet response, not instantly, but reliably. Resistance fades not because obstacles disappear, but because they lose relevance to your direction. You are no longer pulled sideways by every demand. Type Amen 888 to affirm this transition. There is strength forming in your stillness, a calm authority that does not need to announce itself. Others may sense it before they understand it, responding differently without knowing why. Respect grows where explanation is absent. You have outgrown certain struggles without ceremony, and they cannot follow you where you are going. Patterns that once repeated no longer find access, not because you fought them, but because you no longer resonate with them. Growth has altered your frequency. What is meant for you now approaches without urgency, arriving when readiness meets opportunity. This balance protects what is coming from being misused or misunderstood. You will recognize it by how naturally it fits. Type Amen 999 to receive stability and direction. There is clarity forming around what deserves your energy and what no longer does. Decisions simplify, not because choices disappear, but because priorities become unmistakable. Focus sharpens without pressure. You are learning to move forward without dragging old weight behind you. The release feels gentle, not dramatic, like setting something down after realizing you no longer need to carry it. Freedom often arrives quietly. The path ahead does not demand perfection, only presence and consistency. Small actions done with alignment will compound into visible change. Progress will feel grounded rather than exhausting. Type Amen 111 to align with focused movement. Archangel Michael says this phase strengthens discernment more than speed, teaching you when to advance and when to remain still. You will notice hesitation fading where confidence belongs, and restraint forming where wisdom is required. This balance protects what you are becoming. Support surrounds you in ways you may not recognize immediately, but it is active and attentive. Interference is filtered before it reaches you, and guidance is reinforced before confusion takes hold. You are not navigating alone, even when the road appears quiet. What unfolds next will confirm what you sensed internally long before evidence appeared. Trust will deepen through experience rather than belief. Stability replaces uncertainty one step at a time. Type Amen 222 to receive guidance and protection. What begins now is not loud or overwhelming, but firm and unmistakable, like a foundation settling into place beneath everything you touch. You may sense an inner steadiness that does not depend on circumstances, a grounded assurance that remains even when external conditions shift. This is not emotional confidence, it is structural strength forming within you. Your awareness expands without effort, allowing you to notice what aligns and what drains before it takes hold. This awareness is protective, guiding your choices gently rather than forcefully. You are no longer learning through depletion, but through clarity. Momentum builds in a way that feels sustainable rather than rushed. Each step forward confirms the last, creating continuity instead of chaos. This rhythm supports longevity, not burnout. Type Amen 1212 to receive this grounded strength. Connections begin to reorganize around truth rather than convenience. Some bonds deepen naturally while others fade without conflict or explanation. This adjustment is not lost, it is refinement. You are stepping into a space where authenticity becomes non-negotiable. Pretense dissolves, and what remains is strong enough to support growth. This honesty with yourself becomes your greatest stabilizer. Your presence carries calm authority, not dominance, not force, but certainty. Others respond to this energy even when words are minimal. Influence grows quietly. Type Amen 1414 to align with authentic connection. There is protection over your intentions now, shielding what you are building from premature exposure. Not everything needs to be shared while it is still forming. Privacy strengthens what patience nurtures. You are learning when to speak and when to remain silent without suppressing the truth. Discernment replaces impulse, allowing wisdom to guide expression. This balance preserves your energy. Progress continues even when results are not immediately visible. Foundations are being reinforced beneath the surface. Stability always forms before expansion. Type Amen 1616 to seal this protective covering. Archangel Michael says what you carry has weight, and that weight requires steadiness rather than speed. You are being trained to hold responsibility without strain and leadership without ego. This preparation ensures durability. Challenges that appear now are smaller than those you already survived. Your capacity has increased beyond what you once imagined. Confidence grows through recognition of this truth. You move forward with less resistance because alignment has reduced internal conflict. Decisions feel cleaner, clearer, and more direct. This simplicity strengthens momentum. Type Amen 1818 to receive resilience and clarity. What stabilizes now does not waver, because it is anchored deeper than emotion and stronger than circumstance. You may notice that situations which once triggered urgency no longer hold the same power over you, and reactions soften into responses without effort. This is mastery forming quietly. Your inner world becomes ordered, not rigid, but aligned, allowing peace to remain even while movement increases. You are not withdrawing from life, you are engaging it with clarity rather than exhaustion. Strength expresses itself as a calm presence. The environment around you adjusts in response, reflecting the balance you carry within. What no longer matches this frequency begins to fall away without resistance. Harmony becomes selective. Type Amen 2020 to affirm this inner order. There is confirmation arriving through consistency rather than surprise. Small signs repeat, patterns reinforce, and reliability replaces uncertainty. Trust builds naturally through experience. You begin to recognize how far you have already come, not with pride, but with grounded acknowledgement. This awareness reinforces stability instead of feeding ego. Gratitude becomes a quiet companion. Energy that was once scattered consolidates into purpose. Focus sharpens without narrowing vision. Direction feels natural rather than forced. Type Amen 2121 to receive focused alignment. What you hold now is sustainable momentum. Progress does not demand sacrifice of peace or identity. Growth honors balance. The pace you move at is intentional, allowing integration rather than overwhelm. Each step settles before the next begins. This rhythm ensures endurance. You become a steady point amid movement, influencing without effort. Presence speaks louder than assertion. Authority expresses itself gently. Type Amen 2222 to anchor this rhythm. Support continues to operate beyond visibility, adjusting timing and filtering interference. You are shielded from unnecessary burdens while remaining fully engaged with purpose. Protection works through precision, not isolation. Your intuition sharpens through trust rather than fear. You recognize guidance without second-guessing. Confidence grows through repetition. What is meant for you approaches without struggle. Alignment clears the path ahead. Flow replaces force. Type Amen 2323 to receive intuitive clarity. Completion does not signal an end but a sealing of readiness. You are prepared to carry what unfolds next without losing yourself. Stability becomes your foundation. Expansion will occur in layers, each one integrating smoothly. Growth respects your limits while gently extending them. Balance remains intact. You are not required to prove anything to proceed. Type Amen 2525 to complete the sealing. What continues now moves beneath the surface of thought, settling into the spaces where instinct and knowing reside. You may not always be able to name what has changed, but you will feel it in how you stand, how you pause, and how you move without hesitation. This is integration, not addition. Your inner voice grows steadier, not louder, guiding without pressure or fear. Doubt loses its grip because experience has replaced uncertainty. Trust becomes embodied rather than imagined. You begin to sense when alignment is present and when it is absent, without analysis or overthinking. Discernment operates smoothly. Peace becomes the indicator. Type Amen 2626 to anchor this inner knowing. There is a maturity forming in how you hold responsibility, carrying weight without strain. You no longer rush to fix what is not yours to fix. Boundaries feel natural rather than defended. Energy returns where it was once depleted. Rest feels restorative instead of guilty. Balance restores strength. Your presence stabilizes spaces around you, even when you are unaware of it. Calm becomes contagious. Influence expands quietly. Type Amen 2727 to receive restored energy. Archangel Michael says your growth is now protected from distortion, allowing truth to remain clear even amid noise. You will notice confusion dissolving faster than before. Clarity returns quickly. You are no longer easily pulled into cycles that drain purpose. Awareness interrupts patterns before they repeat. Choice becomes empowered. What unfolds next builds upon what is already stable. Nothing essential is rushed. Timing remains precise. Type Amen 2828 to affirm protection. Your path reveals itself step by step, not to limit vision, but to preserve focus. Overwhelm fades as priorities simplify. Direction strengthens. You learn to recognize alignment through ease rather than intensity. What is meant for you feels natural. Flow becomes familiar. Confidence settles into your posture, your tone, your decisions. Assurance does not need validation. Stability speaks. Type Amen 2929 to receive grounded confidence. Momentum continues without urgency. Progress integrates smoothly into daily life. Growth feels sustainable. You are not waiting anymore, you are moving steadily. Purpose unfolds through consistency. Patience transforms into strength. What you build now lasts. Foundations hold. Expansion remains balanced. Type Amen 3030 to seal endurance. The message does not end here, it continues to unfold as you move forward, guiding through presence rather than instruction. What has been activated remains active. Alignment stays intact. What arises now reaches into the core of your being, touching spaces that have been quiet for too long, where dormant strength has waited patiently. You may feel a subtle expansion within your chest, a rising warmth that is not emotional but essential, the recognition of readiness settling into place. This is your power awakening quietly, without ceremony or announcement, solid and undeniable. Your awareness now senses resonance in everything around you, not as judgment but as natural recognition. What aligns vibrates easily, what does not is simply noted and released. You move through life like a stream finding its path, powerful and adaptive, bending without breaking. Energy once fragmented into distraction is now integrated into purpose. Every choice carries more weight, not because of effort, but because your attention has sharpened and your alignment has increased. Decisions no longer feel heavy, they feel natural and correct. Type Amen 3131 to receive this awakening. The protective layers around you thicken as you step into deeper clarity. You are shielded from influences that do not serve your path, not through force, but through precise alignment with your own energy. This protection allows movement without fear and expression without compromise. Your presence becomes magnetic, not in visibility, but in essence. People, circumstances, and opportunities are drawn to you not by manipulation but by the resonance of your own integrity. What belongs to your journey finds its way without coercion. There is a rhythm forming between your inner truth and the external world, a timing that balances opportunity and preparedness. You will notice synchronicity unfolding in ways that are subtle yet undeniable. Patterns align naturally without struggle. Type Amen 3232 to anchor magnetic alignment. Archangel Michael says this phase is about awakening to authority within yourself, not control over others. True authority is quiet, confident, and consistent. You will sense power in stillness, clarity in patience, and influence in integrity. What emerges now is refinement, a stripping away of distraction, drama, and unnecessary attachment. Only what is essential remains, and it strengthens everything it touches. You are being prepared to operate from a foundation that cannot be shaken. Your actions become deliberate and effective. You no longer act reactively. Instead, every movement is intentional. Even small steps carry great weight because they align with a larger unseen design. Type Amen 3333 to strengthen this inner refinement. The world around you mirrors this internal awakening, reflecting opportunity, support, and resonance in subtle confirmations. You may notice doors opening without effort, conversations aligning without manipulation, and outcomes manifesting in ways that seem effortless. This is not coincidence, it is orchestration at work. Energy you once felt scattered now flows into purpose. Your focus magnifies, your discernment sharpens, and your clarity deepens. Every interaction reinforces alignment rather than diluting it. Strength now emerges from calm, not tension. Confidence grows from certainty rather than expectation. You are anchored in readiness. Type Amen 3434 to solidify strength and readiness. What has been activated in you cannot be undone. Layers of protection, clarity, and alignment remain constant, operating even when you are unaware. You carry this energy naturally, influencing everything around you without force. You will begin to notice how life itself responds to your resonance. Events align, timing flows, and opportunities arrive in accordance with readiness rather than desperation. What is meant for you moves toward you effortlessly. Your journey is no longer dictated by reaction, it unfolds in response to your steady presence. Patience is no longer passive, it is an active force that shapes your experience. Progress emerges from alignment, not struggle. Type Amen 3535 to receive continuous alignment and flow.